Hey, so I've got a couple of lists on review for you today, and this first one is from Matt, who is going to Operation Spring Awakening in New Zealand, right? So he brings 16 organized, 1250 US platoon commander with 6 extra dudes. Oh my god. All veteran. Okay. That's a 7-man veteran unit. It's very, very survivable, but it is costly. 128 points. And then US paratroopers with submachine gun and BAR. I think these units are overcosted for what they deliver, but they're very survivable. They can push and they're stubborn, so they're not gonna go away. Most likely not gonna go away. US Paris, US Paris, US Paris, all the way down here. LMGs, I like the inclusion of the LMG, by the way, but it does mean that they're extra expensive. We've got a Pathfinder squad, which, is nice. They have got access to more submachine guns, which makes them a lot more dangerous than the paratroopers. But they do need some sort of transport. Air Force Observer, a little bit of a thematic thing going on here, I think. Extra men with rifle, he doesn't need that. Save the points. And then a heavy weapons platoon to support it all. Officer with pistol. Why is he regular? Make him inexperienced. I know a lot of people will not do that. But I give competitive advice on this channel, right? When I see a list that I'm tearing it apart, and you see me do that, it's because of competitive reasons, right? It's never because I don't like people or whatever. It's because it's for competitive reasons. There's no reason for him to be regular. Just cut him down, make him inexperienced. He's never going to shoot his pistol anyway, right? Medium machine gun team, medium mortar team with spotter, light mortar team, heavy machine gun team. Wow, a good spread of different stuff. Bazooka team, one of each more or less. Regular, all of it. Nice. Gives you a lot of different capabilities here. And an artillery platoon, light artillery, and a medium anti-tank gun. Now, if you're going to go all infantry, which this is going to do, I think you should end up higher than 16 order dice. Just because you're going to struggle against armored platoons if you have low order dice, and this is not massively low, but I have seen lists with armored platoons that are 18 order dice at 1250, right? Or above that. Which means that you're going to struggle, and the only thing that you can bring to bear against those order dice is your air observer, which is very vulnerable, and there are ways of dealing with air observers, and your bazooka team in a jeep, right? Your anti-tank gun is going to sit there unless your terrain meta is very different from what we have in Europe. It's going to sit there most of the time on ambush, and the enemy is not going to drive in front of it, because why would he? The light howitzer, he can ignore that. It will typically not do him any damage. So you have one bazooka team to stop 5 armored vehicles. It will not be enough. This army will get shredded by a decent competitive army. Now, there may be other reasons for taking it still, right? It's very survivable. It's got a lot of veterans. It's very survivable. And there might be thematic reasons for taking it. But I do not see this army winning tournaments unless you're extremely good at killing armor on the regular with one bazooka. I think you'll get run over. Sorry about that. Mad. I wanted to like this army list. I did. I'm just not seeing it. Too expensive infantry with way too little damage output. For my taste, anyway. Let's go and view the second one, and I forget who this was from. This was from Robert. 12 12 order dice, 1250. Very low. Again, an American one. Very low on order dice for 1250. Company commander, which you're going to need. He has an extra man, which I don't see the point of. Most of the time, he needs to sit in an armored vehicle so that he doesn't get killed. So cut out the extra man would be my first advice. And then the rifle platoon here. We've got an officer with a rifle. Again, save the points. Give him a pistol instead. You might need the points later on. We don't know. 3 BARs. It is a good backline holding squad here. It is a lot of shots you're pouring out. 7 men, and they can push a bit. I would typically say that the LMG is a better choice, but I'm not actually sure in this case. Marines are not an optimized choice, but I mean, it is 7 Marines. They're veteran. They do have the BAR. Fairly okay push units. They can go up and skirmish a bit. Yeah, and they can survive. Yeah, sure. Bazooka team, regular. Yeah. Making them Marines. I'm not sure why. But, you know, a bazooka team is a bazooka team. It's not going to kill much, and it will need some sort of transport in order to do so regularly anyway. Recce infantry. What the heck? Here we get the officer with a pistol. That's the way to build an officer, right? I'm still not seeing the transport choices that is needed for this platoon, but they might be here in the recce platoon. So we got the raiders. Perfect unit, right? This is a good unit. 4 submachine guns. They're perfect for throwing up in some sort of transport and then just disgorging from the transport, killing whatever they're close to. 2 of those. Nice. Very dangerous. 10 man. An LVT water buffalo. I love me some LVTs. I do. But it's a lot of transports in one. I mean, you can transport 30 dudes. That's everyone, right? And it's only a 7+. It is going to get shot. It is going to get shot and killed. That's it. And once it's dead, that's 130 points gone. Unless you have a really good reason to take something this big with that many men in it. This is what we term a clown car from 40k, where you would sometimes see Eldar Harlequin players do this in the olden days. Stuff a bunch of units into one transport. The problem is, when that transport gets killed, everything gets hurt, right? So it's not actually that good an idea. And then we have an armored platoon with a Lee and an M15. I like the M15. I really like the M15. So 2 of those, perfect. And the Lee is a good tank hunter as well. It doesn't need to be veteran. It's a waste of points. But, you know, the gyro stabilizer is nice, but most of the time it's going to sit in a ruin on ambush anyway, hitting on 3s. So you shouldn't move it too much because it's vulnerable in the sides, right? For me, I don't think the LVT is needed. I would much rather cut that down into like 2 white scout cars, 1 for each of the marine squads, with possibly a bazooka in one of them, and then an officer in each, company commander in one of them. Right now, the LVT is going to get shot at some point. And the main problem with this list is, of course, that it has 12 order dice. It is going to struggle against regularly built lists that has way more than that. It is going to struggle. That's plain and simple. Is it bad? No. The individual choices are not bad, but there are just so many of them that sort of compounds the expenses of very expensive veteran backline holders that maybe is not needed with the transported capacity here. I think, Robert, that I would cut the LVT into two White Scout cars, M3 half tracks, something like that, and then you may be good to go. That would also give you one more order dice, and potentially I would also consider cutting these Marine squads down. You don't need two of them, but I think perhaps like one backline holder might be just as good, and then you'll have a couple more points for something. So, yeah, that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time. Cheers.